Well, a very good morning. Thanks for clicking on to the first Vogan's US Outlook of 2018. I hope you had a good New Year's celebrations. Boy, oh boy, what a cold New Year's it was across the eastern half of the country. Now we're talking about the potential for ice and snow for parts of Florida, all associated with a system that's going to be developing off eastern Florida, riding up the east coast. We could be talking about a classic big hit snowstorm for the coastal portion of the northeast, say, really points east of DC, Philadelphia, and then right up through New York and Boston. We could be talking about a foot of snow, followed by an exceptionally cold push of air. You think it's been cold so far, we may have seen nothing until we come up to the Friday, Saturday period when we could be talking about temperatures below zero in Philadelphia and in New York City to start Saturday morning once this system clears out. But certainly it was the coldest ball drop in Times Square for 100 years. The temperature was sitting at 9 degrees at midnight, and Chicago had its coldest New Year's Day on record with a high of 1 degree. So certainly the cold up until now has been very, very noteworthy and quite historic actually. Temperatures up in Hettinger, or however you pronounce it, in North Dakota anyway. Hettinger was minus 45 degrees. So some very impressive coldest we've seen in a few years. But the temperature a couple of years back in February hit 1 below zero in Central Park. Could we go below that as we push towards the end of the week? That remains to be seen. Boston's coldest, I think, is 9 below zero. And I think it was the coldest February day on record. I might be wrong about that, but certainly it was a very, very significant cold temperature to start the day at Logan Airport. So a lot of interesting things to come after this snowstorm kicks in, but we need to get to the snowstorm first. So we're talking about the GFS here indicating the continuation of very, very chilly air across the eastern half of the country. There's your rain, snow and ice potential for Florida. If you notice here, right at the very bottom of the map, let's skip back a frame and you can see here the pink indicating ice and sleet. Then the potential for a covering of snow, I think, as this system exits. And then as we push through the latter half of the week here, this system really does start to deepen as it rides up the east coast. Now, it's going to be critical in terms of exact position of the centre, but certainly the GFS indicates that the coastal areas east of DC, east of Philadelphia, and then potentially up in through New York, up through Hartford, Providence and Boston, we could be talking about blizzard conditions with this system. And then we could be talking about a major blizzard, in fact, for parts of northern New England with this up in the Maine as well. Once that system exits, that is when the hammer of coldest air we've seen in years coming down. Look at that there, the 498 thickness line. Very, very intense cold air mass drops as far south as Philadelphia, which is pretty remarkable actually. And then you've got the 504 line, the south of DC, 510 line down as far as Richmond, Virginia. So this is going to be the real deal, folks. Exactly how cold it gets remains to be seen, but you get a fresh covering of deep snow through places like New York City. Drive the 498 thickness south of the metro area and have the isobars coming straight out of Quebec. You're talking about sub-zero cold here, so it is going to be very, very interesting to watch Saturday morning just how cold it gets here. Then the cold kind of hangs on. We've got another system comes through the midwestern half of the country here. That could be another snowmaker here. At this moment in time, the low pushes to the north, keeps the northeastern half of the country in the milder air, and therefore precipitation generally is rain. But we could be talking about a potentially historic cold outbreak for the northeast after this snowstorm pushes through. Some models keep the centre further west, keeping the heaviest snow a little bit further west, so keeping DC, Philadelphia as well as New York in the far line of heaviest snow. The GFS a little further east keeps it the heaviest snow further east as well. So all these finer details will be ironed out over the next few days. We're going to see a little bit of wiggle room back and forward as we push through this week. And then of course the question is, just how cold do we get? Hope you have a great day, and I'll be back in the next couple of days with more. Do check out the written post for more later. Bye for now.